Hey everyone, this is HyperObject. I've got here the Volca Modular, which I've been looking forward to for a while, and this looks pretty complicated. What I'm going to do right now is, rather than try and make some crazy sound, just see what's in the box. It comes with, I think, 6 reference patches, so I'm just going to follow the instructions exactly and see if I can get one of those reference patches to come out sounding really nice. So, oh good. Okay, this is what I was hoping to see. They've got the reference patches right on top. We got 4 patches for dummies. Excellent. This looks like what each module does for dummies. Perfect. I think this is the same manual that was posted online. We've got our tiny patch cables in here. This looks like a sync cable. We won't need that. We're just going to use the one Volca for right now. And here it is. This blue on the bottom is really shiny. Huh. So let's get the batteries in this thing and make some patches. Golden power. Don't use disposable batteries. They are bad for the environment. Okay, so I've already got a line in to the mixer that I'm talking into. Yeah, that's nice and loud. So before I plug in anything, let's just see if it makes any noise. Yeah, there we go. There is a default routing. This is pretty loud. I'm going to turn my mixer down. I'm sure this would not be a surprise to me if I had read the manual. Okay, so the mixer's not clipping, and I'm not deaf. So I like that. Alright, so I'm not touching anything else out of the box. That's what it sounds like. Now, I know I said I was just going to make these basic patches, but I'm dying to know what this space out thing sounds like. Let's try it out. Okay, so fortunately, this is a part of the default routing. Space out is on here. That's a really trippy reverb. I like that a lot, actually. Because the only other Volca that comes with a reverb built in is a sample. And it's a different type of reverb. It's like a, you know, something you'd want to hear on drums. This is more trippy. I like it. Really quick, I'm just going to play with the behavior of the keyboard a little bit. So, much like the other Volcas, if I'm holding one note and tapping a note above, you hit multiple keys, it just plays the highest one, so. Cool. So our patches, what do we have here? Modulator as second VCO. So I'm going to start with this top left one, second VCO. All right, time to test my dexterity with these tiny little cables. Actually, I'm going to sort these out. I have no clue if there's a difference between the different colors. Let's see. There we go. We got our synth, we got our cables, we got our instructions. It's all here. I feel so inspired. I don't think these cables are different lengths at all. Let's see. Looks like the yellow and red cables are the same length as each other. And then the purple and black cables are the same length as each other. They're quite a bit longer. Interesting. I'm going to follow the exact color coding that's on the instructions. So it seems like a smart thing to do. I bet if I knew what I was doing, this would be like some really clever color coding system. Like maybe all the outputs are one color, all the inputs are another color. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Okay, modular as second VCO. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm just going to go from left to right. So I got my source. Oh, goodness. I'm going to plug in the cables and just maybe attempt to figure out. Oh, that doesn't feel so bad. I was thinking this would be like really difficult to squeeze in there. It's not. Actually, yeah, this feels fairly secure. Like I can put a little pressure here and it's in there. So, just for fun, let's see if this sounds any different. Whoa, that sounds totally different. What did I do? As before. As after. We only have one other cable here to worry about. It goes from this middle port here to this port right here. This is actually a pretty sick bass patch. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I used the wrong one of these two LPGs. So, I guess now I'm going to figure out if this and this work the same way as each other. Let's find out. Cut off all the way up. Okay. That sounds really different. That sounds sweet. So now I hear that second oscillator. I see why it's called modulator second VCO. I also just noticed it's telling us to have these dials in a different position. So with the ratio all the way to the, what is that? Counterclockwise extreme. Fold all the way counterclockwise. It sounds like this. This is like it's like a bass and a lead. I like that. But that's not where it's telling us to have these dials. So what if I put this dial at about 12 o'clock? This dial at 12 o'clock. Ooh. It's a lot brighter. This one's called cutoff. Is that just a filter? Sounds like it. Oh, you know what? I actually like this patch a little bit more. I had it all the way over here. Yeah, it sounds cool. Alright, I'm going to play with this a little bit more. What is this release? So, in the patch guide, it's got this at 12 o'clock. It's got all these at 12 o'clock too. I should get them here where it wants us to have them. Whoa. So I've got a short envelope that's like looping. That's interesting. So I actually would love to go back and like play a song with that setting I had earlier with the ratio really low. And I was doing that bass thing. But I'm not here to make a song out of that. I'm here to play these patches. So first patch, modulator as second VCO. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so that was number one. So I guess we just tear this. Oop. I guess we just tear it all apart in between patches, huh? Okay, now we're back to nothing plugged in, but I have changed the values of these dials so that they match up with that guide on the first patch there. So let's read these left to right. Next we've got LFO modulation. What is the LFO modulating? If I knew what this meant, I would probably be able to just look at it and tell you, but I don't know what it means, so let's find out. Got a red cable going from this spot to this spot. So from the source, we got mod running into this envelope. Oh, look at me pretending what I know what these are. No clue. And then we're gonna take this little thing that looks like a square wave, little icon, run it into here. So I'm going to take a quick look at where the dials are. Looks like they're all at 12 o'clock. Now we're using mod now. We weren't using it before, I don't think. Let's see what it sounds like. Whoa. Ah, it's like a little siren. All right, so we've got these two knobs highlighted, the shape knob and the time knob. So I'm going to play with those and see what happens. So here's 12 o'clock on each. Turn the shape down all the way. That's weird. It sounds like I'm hitting the key twice, but I'm not. So if you listen to what the patch is doing, it's moving in time with this LED here. So this LED on mod is showing us what that's doing. I'm curious if I move the right a little bit, does it do a different pattern? That's actually pretty cool. So let's take the shape from one extreme all the way to the other. Okay, so I think I kind of get what these little graphics on either side of the shape knob are doing. All the way on the left side, we've got a short attack and a long release. All the way on the right, we've got a long attack and a short release. And it's looping that envelope. Let's see what happens if I take the time, move it to as short as possible. Yeah, that's a really short envelope now. Long as possible. Okay. So that does about short envelope. Long envelope. So that's our LFO modulation. To be honest, I'm not totally sure what it is we're modulating. I mean, it kind of sounds like cutoff, but it sounds really weird. Well, there's a cool siren effect. All right, so I don't want to spend any more time on this one. That's LFO modulation. Now we're going to do Portamento. So unplug everything. Okay, so this only needs 2 cables as well. So we're going to take I feel like I should start with the one that says source. That seems like it makes sense, right? Take this one. Oh, I get to use the woggle now. Cool. Let's see what it sounds like just like this. Whoa, that's cool. Ooh, okay, I'm going to finish this patch before I hurt my ears. Now we're going to take this other port on Woggle. Okay, and now I'm going to make sure my knobs are all set where it wants me to have them set. So I've got the ratio about 12 o'clock. Got my fold about 12 o'clock. Mod 12 o'clock. And clock. Right there. Cool. Here's a Portamento patch. So this one doesn't have that blue outline on any of the knobs. Maybe that means it doesn't want us to mess with them. That's a really fun lead sound. It's cutting. Alright, we got one more basic patch. This one's got 3 cables instead of 2. Alright, ring modulator. This time we've got 2 cables going from the source. Cut off. Got the yellow one at the bottom here. We got the purple one here. Now I gotta say, it feels a little bit snug to have these 2 cables right next to each other. By the way, these seem like, nice 2 cables. I don't feel like they're gonna fall apart or anything, but they kind of smush up against each other because if they were straight like this, the distance between the 2 leads is farther apart than the actual patch points are. So they kind of smush together like that just a little bit. I'm exaggerating. It's not a big deal, but kind of odd. I wasn't expecting it. Okay, so we got one more cable. It's extremely important that I use the red cable for this step. A plus B times C. That's the formula for a line. I remember something from algebra. Okay, before I press any keys, I'm gonna double check my knob positions. Ratio at noon, and it looks like from the blue outline here, it wants us to tweak that a little bit, and I am happy to oblige. And we've got this thing is tweakable as well. Got cut off all the way up here, and at 12 o'clock here. Okay, without touching anything, here's ring modulation. Oh, okay. It's a little messy, but I mean, that's the point, isn't it? So first I'm going to mess with the ratio and just see what happens. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Ah, that's so sweet. Sounds like a bit crusher up here. Oh. Bass sound down here is really weird. It's cool. There's some sub bass. Make your neighbors mad with this video. Okay, I'm going to put this back at 12 o'clock, and now I'm going to play with this thing. This is like a volume. Huh. So this dark knob is pretty interesting. Usually on Volcas, when it's a dark knob, instead of having an LED, that means you can't motion sequence it. And now you can do motion sequencing on these. In fact, I intend to try that out right after this. But yeah, it looks like when I turn this, it just controls the volume. It doesn't seem to be modulating anything. So I gotta say, when I was looking at this patch sheet, and it's like 2 cables on all of them, I thought this was probably going to be pretty boring and like playing with scientific equipment, but this is really interesting and already pretty musical. So there's a lot of stuff on here I haven't touched. One of them is the sequencer. I don't know what's preloaded on the sequencer. I have a feeling it's something. We got a bunch of memories already in here. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and play us out and just find out what's on the sequencer.